Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second part of the Red Path walkthrough through Stray Gods. With me is Luke again, who in a second can tell a bit about themselves. And today we will see how far we will get. And also, all of the VODs for the previous episodes are already on my YouTube. This one will be up tomorrow, most likely. And now, Luke, I give it to you.
Okay, so I'm a little bit more prepared today, and I'm not just going to say that I'm awkward.
Good start, good start.
um, so I'm Luke. I can usually be found almost everywhere on the internet under the handle Lala Loves Cake, and you can see me in a number of different live play TTRPGs on Ladybug's Tavern, Spells and Storycraft, and occasionally on Dissonance Complex as well. So I like to play games. It's what I do.
Sadly, the ones that you are with me for the live plays that you are doing on my page are not yet uploaded because we don't have the amount of episodes necessary for that. But once we do,
That's okay. They'll be there eventually.
yes,
And
they
I'm
absolutely will.
adorable.
True. You're absolutely adorable in there.
I am always adorable, but
Okay.
particularly in that.
True. Okay, I guess let's go. Cause what else is left to do? Okay, so who do we talk to first? I
Ah,
think we still don't want to go to Persephone because whatever for.
yeah. Uh, do we want to talk to Medusa before Apollo and Freddie?
I would say maybe before Apollo, but I don't know if we should go there before Freddy.
Let's talk to Freddie first then.
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse.
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having.
Well, I stopped the goddess of love from killing herself, I guess.
Whoa. Do gods have interventions? Are they nothing like I thought they would be? Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
I absolutely adore Freddy, and also I didn't ever get that dialogue because I never went to Freddy after Aphrodite. I usually went there before Aphrodite.
Oh. Well, let's ask about Kaz and Brian.
Only because it's the best answer ever.
What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
No, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we tell them, do you think?
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Kaz is officially homeless.
Is he still crashing on Brian's couch?
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things?
Where's Leslie? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, it's best just to not mix them up in this.
I love this. I absolutely love this.
Sorry about the band.
I should really apologize about the band. This kind of puts a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this coming, sure, but it's always been something with me.
Well, as I see it, there are two ways this goes down. One, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name. Or two, we get back to it and the band now has the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Look, Grace, you can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
With Freddy on this one. And also, that's a great name. What the fuck do you want from it? And yes, if you go back to that band, that is the best band name fucking ever.
I mean, it is. It's good. It's not
I mean,
quite as
I'm
on the
sorry,
nose as other things.
not as on the nose as Underworld, for example. But still a bit on the nose, and it makes sense when you have a muse as a lead singer.
It does.
Yay, time to open snacks.
What do you know about the gods?
Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddie?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today, or who they ever were, maybe.
Still might be useful. There's got to be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe? Who do you want to hear about?
Well, let's ask about Apollo.
What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun and light, but also kind of enlightenment in general. He's always talked about as this beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog, Grace. I can list off like a dozen men and women Apollo has had as lovers, and there's probably more.
Weren't they all like that, though?
I mean, Apollo's no Zeus. He never assaulted anyone as a swan. And no, they aren't all like that. Our sun god had a reputation.
I mean, yes, but also, as you just mentioned, he was actually the one that asked for consent first.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't see many people saying no to him, but.
Yeah, I mean, at least he appreciates consent, right?
Yes.
How about, let's ask about Calliope.
Do you know anything about the muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9, though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses had her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of epic poetry? She inspired the Odyssey.
Wow. I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right, at least.
Did she also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
No, but she once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
Let's ask about Athena.
What about Athena? Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
Sure, but mostly that's meant as tactical knowledge. Athena wasn't all sweetness and light. She was a warrior goddess. She was also the goddess of heroes. There are loads of stories where Athena helps guys like Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No female heroes back in those days?
Yeah, guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive. She cursed Medusa, one of her own priestesses. She turned people into spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, and the
Not
war
being
was
as
over an
wise as
apple.
advertised is on brand for her then.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, the Trojan War was over a fucking apple.
Let's
and
ask.
Also, I feel like the answer that her wisdom is meant as tactical knowledge is a very big hint in this game.
It really is. It's nice that they're pointing out that she's really not all that smart.
Yeah, she's not about actual wisdom, she's about tactical knowledge. And to be honest, what she pulled off tried to pull off in this game, from a tactical point of view, is a good move. It's just not very smart.
Or very nice.
Yes, but from a tactical standpoint, it makes sense. And only from a tactical one.
Only from a tactical one. Let's ask about the idols.
Just how many of these gods are there? From what I've heard, lots of idols live around here.
Well, there are tons of minor gods in Greek mythology, hundreds even, depending on how you define them. Oddly, there's never any mention of the word idols in relation to them. Maybe it's like how people worshipped idols?
I sort of assumed it was related to the eidolon.
Which is a Greek word, but I think it means ghost. An image of someone after they die.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Me, I'm more amazed at all the big names missing. Not just Zeus and Hades, most of the Olympians seem to be gone. Makes you think about what's been lost. But also, what might still be out there.
I mean, to be freaking honest, I'm not that worried that the Olympians are gone. I'm kind of relieved because they were a mess.
Yeah, none of them could keep it in their togas. That's
I mean, Hera could keep it in her toga. Her husband couldn't. And
uh
she couldn't exactly punish Zeus, so she punished the poor mortals, because...
yeah. That's just completely displaced anger.
Yes, seeing that she was the goddess of families and shit like that.
Oh, the gods are fucked up.
None of
Do
them are
we
good at their jobs. That's what we already established. Except for Hephaestus, he was great at his job.
great at his job? Absolutely. Do we want to ask about other gods or
Yes, because she has a fun answer to that.
okay?
You think there might be other gods out there?
Well, there are all those gods the idols say wandered off. We don't know they're dead for sure, right? They could be living it up in Australia. Who would know? Then there are all the other mythologies, hundreds of cultures, each with their own pantheon. So what's so special about the Greeks? That only their gods are real, right? All those other pantheons could be living in secrecy, just like the idols. And that means they're hidden from each other, too. Oh, they could be everywhere and no one would know.
It's like a whole other secret side to the world.
Yeah, that's cool, right? I hope I get to meet Ganesha one day. Or maybe Lakshmi? Oh.
And I would say that might be hinting at what they are planning next, because Summerfall Studios did hint that they are doing another project that I think will be, at least we will get more info on in this year.
Ooh.
And if they are going another mythological musical, that is a big hint to what direction they might go.
That would be really cool.
I mean, there is so many pantheons. As exactly as Freddy said, why the fuck would the Greeks be special?
Yeah, let's ask about Persephone.
Tell me what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
And that's it?
Yep.
She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry, she created winter. But otherwise, Persephone was just your average sweet and virginal fertility goddess.
You're right, that doesn't sound like her at all.
No.
No.
Hard to be defined by this one thing that happened to you thousands of years ago. I'd be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Well, she is pretty pissed. That much is true.
I mean, yeah.
Ooh, now we can ask about Pan. Okay.
Mhm.
You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pan's a god of the wild, and I guess that translates into a sort of lustfulness and earthiness, humping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
And you don't like him.
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories say he's a lech and a beast. The Christians equated him with the devil.
Mhm.
Weirdly, he's also the only god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. There's a great statue depicting Pan having sex with a goat. Next time you see him, you gotta ask him about it.
Too bad the game doesn't give you that option.
That
I would
it
love
should.
to ask him about it.
It should give you the option, but only
Yes.
if you've talked to Freddie about it.
Yes.
I wonder how much of those stories are true.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm giving you the quick version. There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this, but even they rarely agree with each other.
Really? Nothing definitive?
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
I just want to go no more questions, because like, how would Freddie know how they've stayed a secret? Like, that's
Yeah.
just not a logical question to ask
I
her.
mean, she gives a good answer to that.
Well, let's hear it then.
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years. Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Who says nobody has found them out? The way I see it, it's like UFOs.
Okay, I have to hear this.
Okay, so you have real evidence that UFOs exist and that governments have covered it up and people still wouldn't believe it. Why? Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it. Imagine the headline: Greek gods exist and are living among us. What website would even run that?
Weird conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right.
Told you it was a good answer.
It is a really good answer. So
And I'm pretty sure that's the case.
so applicable to so many other real world things too.
Yeah. Yeah.
No more questions.
Okay, that's enough questions for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
I'll check back with you soon, Freddy. Time for more mystery solving.
All right.
And I can see that my background is eating me from time to time, and that there's nothing I can do about it, sadly, so it happens. Apollo or Medusa?
Let's go to Medusa and then Apollo. Do you ever have like anxiety that by doing one before the other, you've locked yourself out of one of them? Because I do.
Little Viper's Nest.
Sometimes.
Scariest part of town, no sign. Just that one dude glaring at everyone. Well, I'm here now. Just another day in the life of an idol.
Oh, there you are. Man, this place is the worst. I think someone peed on me.
Freddy? What are you doing here?
What, you thought I wouldn't notice you skulking off? You didn't even bring any equipment, Grace.
I love the fact that she full-blown carries weapons with her right now.
Let's ask her, you have equipment?
What kind of equipment does one bring to a meeting with Medusa?
This isn't a meeting, Grace. You're not here to sell her on your business plan.
Please tell me you don't have any weapons in there.
I certainly hope one of you brought more than sheer ignorance.
Does she not see the
it
mace?
It is me. How exciting, no?
Pan, what are you doing here?
I'm the one who told you about this place. You didn't expect my curiosity to get the better of me?
Funnily enough, I know that you can sometimes get only Freddy if you didn't choose Pan when singing with him. But on the guest choice playthrough, we managed to get to the point where I didn't have Freddy here. I had Pan.
Oh.
Which is definitely interesting.
That is interesting.
Because on all of my playthroughs, I usually had here either Freddy or both of them. Never have I ever had only Pan.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. I don't know which combination of choices does that.
Tell me the truth.
Why are you really here, Pan? The truth this time.
I need to have some dastardly ulterior motive other than to be of assistance. For shame, Grace.
Absolutely, yes.
You just don't get it, do you? The act is wearing real thin.
Thank you, Freddy.
It's true. I am a bad man, and I spoke poorly.
And that's it?
I'd hope even you, Freddy, could see that advice from an idol might be useful here.
I suppose.
I have this slight feeling that Freddy is basically the personification of what everybody playing through this game would normally say. Because she has all the most appropriate comments that everybody agrees with 100%.
Yeah. What's your advice?
If you have any advice, Pan, I'm all ears.
Well, I assume you know how Medusa became what she is.
She used to be human, right? And then Athena cursed her. Pretty unfairly, too.
Yep.
Now, however, Athena hasn't the power to undo her own curse. Or so she claims.
That's gotta suck.
Medusa isn't happy about it, no. Yet she survives because she must. As do we all.
Can she really turn people into stone?
Medusa is the one who turns people into stone just by looking at them, right?
People, yes. Idols, not so much. Or that's my assumption. I'll admit to not knowing if she's ever turned her gaze on one of us.
Great. Is there any way to make someone not a statue, if it turns out she can?
Short of Medusa dying? No. Not unless she wishes it.
Fun.
She works for Athena?
Asterion said Medusa works for Athena. Is that right?
A truer description, I'd say, is that she's more Athena's servant. Poor thing can't survive on her own. So she's become whatever Athena needs. Spy master, enforcer, provider of garden statuary.
That doesn't sound fair.
It isn't. But keep in mind, Medusa is no helpless maiden. She is as clever as she is dangerous. And Athena knows it.
I mean, good, seeing that Athena is the one who made her dangerous.
Mm-hmm. What is she really like?
Medusa's clever and works for Athena, but what's she really like?
She doesn't exactly come to the parties, Grace. Medusa is an enigma to most of us. If idols hide in the shadows, she lurks in even darker places. She's an outsider, and she loathes us as much as she needs us.
Is she dangerous?
Let's just say we're all rather relieved she stays away.
Okay, let's go.
Okay,
Let's
enough
do
talking.
this.
Time to do this.
See, that's the spirit. Now there's simply the matter of getting you in before she's aware you're here.
You're gonna help her do that?
Why not? You're more apt to become a statue than to be any true help, my dear.
Knock it off, both of you. I have a plan for getting inside.
He's not wrong.
A word of advice before we proceed. Once you find Medusa, make the number a knockout.
I mean, he's not wrong. About Freddy being more prone to being the statue.
Yeah.
How do you want to get in? Also, I'm sorry that we have Freddy because, as I've witnessed on the guest choice playthrough, Pan does a magnificent distraction.
But not if we have Freddy with us?
No, if we have Freddy, Freddy will do it.
Oh. Let's confront the enforcer. It feels like that's the badass.
Yeah, I did it. I did that one only once, and it's a fun one.
Oh, you're not just going to... Oh.
Sure is. Just watch.
Hi there.
Viper's Nest is closed. Private party.
I'm here for the party.
Yeah, the private party is what I'm here for. Why else?
All the guests have arrived. Do you have an invitation?
I know who your mistress is.
Like, I know who the boss really is, and she'll want to speak with me. Isn't that invitation enough?
Go on in. I'll send word to the boss you've arrived.
There goes the element of surprise.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Yeah, not that she was surprised at any point anyway. She probably smelled Pan from like a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
And well, Muse probably too.
What a long day, hiding in the light. Such a long day, dreaming of tonight. This sacred bite. Hello, who's that there? You've messed up my flow. Just get your drink, girl, and take your seat. Oh. It's the muse. There are Then there's this sacred bite. So wrong, so right. I'm really gonna hate myself tonight.
Right, let's play. I'm sure you can bite, okay. But you get a fight today. You're fighting Grace this time. And this time's mine. This time.
For
It's mine.
centuries, these heroes got sent to me. Each one of them bent to me.
You're meant to be this time.
This time and all
'Cause
time.
this time's mine.
This time's mine. This time's just
This
like
time.
every time.
He's mine.
Now look into me. Your body goes freely every tendon as it tenders, turning jelly as it renders. What'd you say, Grace? You okay, Grace? Where's the game face this time? You are currently experiencing something I like to call the preparation. Any questions or comments? That's right, it is widely known that I can turn folks to stone. But oh, I won't this time. Because this time I find dine that the oozy musy bloods my wine this time. Look into me. Oh, she's looking away. Hey, look
You flipped that hood.
into me.
Then out came the snakes. You're so good. Finally, some steaks. Oh, the ice thing. What a difference an actual monster makes. Murdering muses.
Helps me relax.
I should sound out Athena about your naughty night snacks.
Oh,
Me and Athena need to touch base. I'll say what I've seen.
I'm getting quite keen to chew off that face. Now look into.
Oh, snakes alive! I've killed a few times, you see. I murdered Calliope. Say, would you like to be the murdery this time?
This time is fine.
If yes, then fine.
I just said fine. You're
This
trying to buy
time.
time. You're lost, little girl. No more Hail Marys. We both know the meal is you. The killer's me.
You don't know, you don't know.
I do know that you didn't.
Kill Calliope. So you know that it's true that I didn't do it.
No.
Yes, you do know, you know. Does that mean Athena knows?
No. Fine grace.
Can't wait to tell her you know I'm what fate. Not the feature show. Come on, try. But let's go. Gonna suffer.
He's useful.
Ugh, no. Not the bloody Charles.
You think you can turn me to stone before I burn your snakes off? I'm betting you can't.
The lighter was my idea.
I love them. I absolutely love them.
Good thing they're here.
Yep. Few notes. First off, I absolutely adore that with Medusa they went so far off Greek style that they actually used Hindu style for clothing. Because
Mhm.
she's pretty fucking far off from Greece. And also, funnily enough, on the blue path, not only can you actually save her at the end of the game, because if you go full blue and you are with the clever trait, then Apollo will actually help her. And you can also then call her cute.
Aww.
On the blue path only.
Yeah.
So we're going with good thing you're here.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a close one.
Nice timing on the arrival, you two.
Oh, this place is bigger than I thought. And creepy.
I was glad to have Freddy to protect me.
Oh,
You ready to talk?
Oh, fine, fine. What exactly is it that you want, pretty muse?
Why were you at the reliquary?
You were at the reliquary the night Calliope was murdered. I want to know why.
Blast! This is why I didn't tell Lady Athena. I knew it would come back to haunt me. I only followed pretty Calliope to the reliquary. I never spoke to her, never even caught up to her. I swear it.
That's what Asterion told us, more or less.
But you were there that night.
Yes, yes, I admit it. Ugh, Lady Athena will have my head. She'll mount it on a pike. Whatever you might think of me, I had no part in the muse's death. I did not even know she'd been attacked until I saw her fleeing.
I mean, yeah, Athena might punish her just for being there because that's Athena.
Why were you following?
You followed Calliope to the reliquary. Why were you shadowing her at all?
I am Lady Athena's spy master, yes. Calliope has been trouble from time to time.
So you were spying on her.
I keep watch over every idol who no longer lives in Olympus, but especially Calliope. When I realized she was headed to the reliquary that eve, I followed. I had a duty to Athena.
Did you find out why Calliope was there?
Did you ever find out why Calliope went there?
I was never close enough to ask. When I drew near to the reliquary, that is when I saw the muse fleeing. She was frightened, blooded, dying.
A tasty snack for you to hunt down.
I gave chase, yes, but to discover the truth. I knew Lady Athena would wish to know.
That does make sense from your perspective.
I didn't learn the truth until later. And then it was far too late.
The top Asterion.
Asterion said he caught up with you out in the fog. Is that right?
I thought he was the one who had attacked her. He is a great beast of a creature.
Oh, that seems rather unlikely. The bull's as gentle as a lamb.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
pretty
much that.
Yeah.
Yes, I had only realized my mistake once I caught up to him, and by then the muse was gone.
And you never found her afterwards?
I thought she might flee to her pretty home, or to the sharp and prickly Persephone. She did neither.
Yeah, she came to see me.
You didn't tell Athena?
You haven't told Athena any of this?
Do I need to light things up again? 'Cause I'll do it.
I told her Calliope was at the reliquary that night. I did not tell her I was also there.
Why not? Wouldn't Athena find out from Hecate anyway?
I was not thinking clearly. I panicked. Lady Athena barely tolerates my presence as it is. If she thought I was involved in any way, if she even suspected.
How can we believe you?
Why should we believe you? You did just try to eat me, remember?
I am telling you the truth.
Right, and not at all trying to cover your own ass.
You presented an opportunity. Oh, to taste the sweet, sweet blood of a hero once again. It's a problem. I've been working on it, I really have.
Oh, Medusa.
Well, what of you? The only reason I knew Calliope was going to the reliquary is because you informed me.
Well,
Speaking of covering one's ass,
it is true.
Mhm.
But Grace, I can
Oh, you
explain.
will.
I'll bet you can. Let's put a pin in that for the moment, shall we?
I am a monster. It's true. I do not deny it. It's still, I did not kill the muse.
Okay, let's say we believe you. For the moment.
Whatever you do, pretty muse, I beg you. Do not tell Athena of my indiscretion. Show mercy. I know what I am horrifies you. It horrifies me as well. I cannot help what I am. I did not ask to be cursed like this.
Too bad we cannot ask this, because then we get an information that, well, Apollo doesn't appreciate.
Yeah.
Because there is a part when he will tell you that one of the gods that vanished is his sister Artemis.
Mm.
Guess what happened to Artemis?
Oh no. Oh, Medusa.
Yeah.
Let's just say I'll think about it.
But Apollo is the kind enough person that even when Medusa tells him about that, he still helps her.
And that's why he's our man.
Yes.
Indiscretion, huh? That's quite the word for it.
I cannot apologize for my hunger. I can only apologize that I am so very weak in the face of
I
it.
mean, not your fault,
I'll
so.
think about it.
I am a lost and cursed thing. No idol. If Lady Athena should learn the truth, I hope you find what you seek, pretty muse. And that we meet again someday. And sing a different song.
I mean, the fact that she eats people is not entirely her fault.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's mostly not her fault.
okay, so that was fun. Grace, I'll meet you back at home.
Time to yell at somebody.
Now, before you say anything,
You knew. Right from the start, you knew Calliope was there that night.
well, yes. She asked for the key and I gave it to her, no questions asked. I never lied to you, Grace. I said I didn't know what became of Calliope at the reliquary, and I didn't. But I wanted to, so I nudged you in the right direction.
Why did you do that?
Why? Is there some reason you need to know what happened to Calliope?
Is that so strange? Don't we all desire justice?
You sent me to the reliquary because you wanted justice.
I am
Bullshit.
trying to help, Grace. In my way.
In my way.
What do you mean in my way? What way is that?
The way where I don't take all the blame.
What else will I discover, Pan? I'd rather learn it now than later.
I wish I could tell you, Grace. I truly do.
He's so damn annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So, Apollo or Freddy?
Oh.
I would say to go to Apollo first because I think when we go home there will be the next events happening.
Yeah, I want to talk to Apollo.
Because Medusa, because Medusa kinda does seem like a dead end.
Grace, back again so soon. Did you find Medusa after all? You've been on my mind ever since you told me about her.
I did, and it was fine. I told you it would be. Okay, it almost wasn't fine, but it worked out. Nobody got hurt.
I see. Perhaps you'd best tell me what happened then.
He's so cute.
That sounds like quite the harrowing experience. One that could have gone very poorly indeed.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were worried about me.
I will always worry about you, Grace.
Aww.
Is that a good thing? I'll take it as a good thing.
If you've cleared Medusa's involvement, that still leaves us with Pan. Have you confronted him about it?
He admitted to selling out Calliope, but not to killing her. I don't know if I can believe him.
Yeah, about as far as you
I've
can
never
throw
thought
him.
of Pan as a liar so much as a manipulator. Still, he would do anything to protect himself. I'll have to give this some thought. I did tell you we could discuss your memories and the Eidolon more in depth after the party. Did you have any questions, or?
Will I feel different?
When all these memories start to return, will I feel different?
Well, let's see. It starts as dreams you'll have of places you've never been, people you've never met, fleeting images, feelings. Then they'll appear while you're awake. You'll be eating breakfast and suddenly recall when you last ate something similar in the 17th century. The only difficult part is that eventually it can be hard to differentiate between your life and all those other lives. They blend together.
It does sound confusing.
A little, yeah. And not all the memories will be good ones. It can take time to process.
Will I still remember?
You said it becomes hard to differentiate your life from the others. How hard, exactly? It'll still be me, right?
Grace, would you say that who you are is at least in part due to your experiences?
I guess so, sure.
Well, you'll have a lot more experiences. They won't feel like someone else's either. It will feel like you did all those things. They will shape who you are now, just as they shaped Calliope and all those who came before her. The good news is, you won't get all the memories. Each time we pass on, the older memories fade.
And I'm betting that's what Aphrodite was counting on.
Mm-hmm.
But
How
that
is...
would have taken so many suicides.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that would have taken a bit.
Mm-hmm. That's how is fading memories a good thing?
Wait, how is it good that old memories start to fade?
We're many thousands of years old, Grace. If all of those memories returned with perfect clarity, you'd drown in them.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean you've all forgotten so much?
Tell me, how much do you remember from when you were a small child?
Bits and pieces, I guess. Not much.
It's the same for us. The further I try to think back, the more blurry it becomes. I remember the important bits, but little else. Some of the really old memories. There's so many mortal stories that get mixed up with them, things my previous selves learned as legends. It becomes hard to tell. It takes time, Grace. You'll remember all the lives you've led, but at a pace you can handle, and nothing more.
How many times have you died?
How many times have you died? Can I ask that?
Well, we call it passing on, meeting the Eidolon, and it's fine. I've passed on 12 times that I can recall.
So your name isn't really Apollo?
Most recently it was Lucas. Everyone Lucas ever knew is gone, however, so these days I prefer Apollo again.
Lucas? Seems weird to think of you as a Lucas.
Kind of.
It was weird for him, too. Much like yourself, Lucas becoming Apollo was somewhat of a surprise.
Sounds like there's a story there.
Tell me about Lucas.
I find it kind of interesting that Apollo remembers 12 times he passed on the Eidolon, and Aphrodite wasn't that far off getting to half of that within 1 century.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a lot.
guys, you've been along for about the same amount of time, and she got up to almost 5 within, like, what, 8 years? That's fucked up.
That's very fucked up.
Tell me about this Lucas. How did he become you? Or is it how you became Apollo?
Apollo had taken to surfing.
As
He
one
left
does.
the city without permission and roamed the coast looking for... Well, I'm not sure now. Whatever it was, he found it one night when a giant wave took him down. He was drowning, and I thought, this is finally it. But it wasn't. Lucas saw Apollo struggling and swam out to save him. He pulled us ashore, but it was too late. It took a long time to realize what happened. I didn't return to the city until years later. By then, everyone thought I was Apollo's chosen successor.
So no trial for you, huh?
It wasn't easy at first, without memories or anyone to guide me, but no, nothing like that.
I mean, yeah, that kind of tracks for Apollo.
Yeah.
On
What
the other
if
hand, I have those imminent questions of it's not that easy for a mortal to kill an idol, but they can fucking drown.
right they can just well yeah.
I mean, if water works, how do you think guns wouldn't?
There's some inconsistency there.
Because unless that was Poseidon, but I
What
doubt.
yeah. What if Lucas hadn't been there?
Wait, what would have happened if Lucas hadn't tried to rescue you? What if no one was there when you...
When I died, then the Eidolon of Apollo's line would have ended forever, I think.
You think?
There have been stories about Eidolons that survive for a time and go wandering. That's probably all they are, though. Stories. It's not something we've had much opportunity to study, but normally death without passing on is how an idol really dies. Forever.
That's all for now, I guess.
I can see one scenario where drowning would work, but bullets wouldn't, and that's if they are kinda impervious to mundane weapons, but water in lungs is still water in lungs.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they just have resistance to like damage from mortal weapons. That could
Well-
track.
Well, and I guess context clues would imply that the Apollo before this Apollo was maybe ready to let go or die, and that could
There's
have a part of
also,
it
yeah,
too.
that's also an option. Because, I mean, we've met the guy at the beginning. He wasn't that far away from giving up.
Right?
On the other hand, with his powers and all that happened over the years, I can kind of see why.
It's a lot to consider. Assuming I'll even have time to worry about it, what with the trial coming.
Hopefully this eases whatever concerns you might have had. Anything else you'd like to discuss while you're here?
Also, funnily enough, Apollo's version of having enough of everything, if anything, was just giving up and not ruining somebody else's life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes, I am still stuck on the fact that I don't like Aphrodite and how she decided to do things.
It's a fair point to get stuck on.
Yes, I was never a fan of Aphrodite, and to be honest, after this game, even less so.
I want to know more about Apollo.
I'd like to know a little more about you. All I know is you live in a dump, you have an oracle, and you...
I'm not sure what to tell you. One day has bled into the next for so long, I feel like I've been lost in the spaces in between.
Ah, that's a bit dramatic.
Yeah, well, it comes naturally. Music and the arts were once under my purview as a god.
How did that get decided? Did you have a big hat full of pieces of paper and you all picked at random?
No, we chose them for ourselves. Some, at least. Others were given to us by our priests. We collected godly responsibilities like marbles.
People collect marbles?
Oh, or whatever it is mortals collect these days. Cars, perhaps? The point is, we took our godly
In this
duties
economy, mate.
very seriously.
Oh, he's so...
Cars and marbles are not comparable.
Yes. I love him. He's so lost in the mortal world.
Oh, it's so
He
cute too.
He literally knows nothing. I mean, okay, he knows a bit, then Hecate knows even less, and then Athena knows absolutely nothing.
He's such a cute little puppy, and he's so lost. It's adorable.
Yes.
What were you like as a god?
You must have been very different back when you were a proper god.
I think most of us were. We saw ourselves as, I don't know, teachers. Mortals were our students, and we guided them to enlightenment.
At least some of you.
We thought we were special, infallible. I was as magnificent as the sun, and I surrounded myself with those who basked in my radiance.
That doesn't sound like you.
No, it does not.
Yeah. I was arrogant. If there was a man or woman I desired, then I had to have them, or there would be consequences. You wouldn't have liked me. I wouldn't have liked me.
I mean, nobody would like you.
Should we delve into the Persephone drama?
I think so, because that's where he tells you why.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Persephone's beef with you exactly? Is it just about what Hades did to her?
That's no small thing.
It seems more personal than that.
It is.
I mentioned how Persephone's kidnapping almost meant war between Olympus and Hades, yes? Well, while this was all going on, Persephone managed to escape the underworld, and I'm the one she encountered first.
Uh-oh.
Hades was hot on her heels, and I had a choice. Either do battle with Hades and start the war right then and there, or let him take her back. Zeus would have had my head if I had sparked a war. Yet all I still think of are Persephone's eyes as Hades smugly took back his prisoner. It's not my finest moment.
I mean, mate, that was a fucking tough choice.
Has he ever tried therapy?
I mean, all of them should. They all need decades of therapy.
Desperately needed therapy.
The only problem is I don't know of any psychiatrist who will live long enough to actually do therapy for them.
They just need like a long line of therapists that like
Yes.
it's like a family thing.
Yeah. Or just, I don't know what that. Okay, if somebody was an idol and was skilled for therapy, that wouldn't work because idols are messed up, all of them. So yeah, you just need a long line of therapists.
Apollo, have you ever tried, I don't know, talking to someone about how you feel?
I will never understand this modern fascination with therapy and focusing on one's feelings.
It might help. You never know.
Yes, I've tried it. There was one I used to speak to. Hecate enchanted him never to reveal what I told him. It was interesting. Frankly, my time with you has proven far more beneficial.
I'm not a therapist, Apollo.
No.
I understand. And I don't mean to rely on you, only that it makes me happy just to know you, Grace.
Aww. It's so sweet.
Let's hear about Calliope.
Tell me more about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
For centuries, we were far more. I was the god of the arts, and the muses were my constant companions. We went everywhere together. They had many names, but the three most common were Clio, Talia, and Calliope. The sisters of beauty, I called them, though they weren't always women.
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Most of us seek out inheritors who are like us, I suppose, but not all. Calliope, in fact, was a man in her previous incarnation. Christoph, I think his name was. A poet Calliope adored. I was surprised when she made him a muse.
Who was Calliope after Kristoff?
Who did Calliope become after that poet, Christoph?
You have to realize we're already into the period where Calliope and I weren't really speaking. She showed up one day in her new form, the one you met. An opera singer whose name she never revealed. We fought, as I recall. I told her she couldn't pass on every time she met an artist she fell in love with. Eventually, she'd forget everything about who we were and where we came from.
Maybe that's better.
She said she'd rather forget than wallow in old memories like I or the other idols were doing. It was time to wake up and make the best of our situation.
With her on that one.
Calliope was an idealist without compromise. Always. She hated what we'd become. What I'd become. She wasn't wrong.
Yep. Absolutely.
Did they fight often?
From how you describe it, you and Calliope fought a lot.
As often as we saw each other.
Oof.
Which became less and less as time wore on. However, she fought with everyone. Calliope hated the idols being kept secret. She and Athena would get into screaming matches over the rules, and it got so I could no longer protect her. She moved out of Olympus years ago and kept to herself. I just assumed she was wrapped up with some new artist when I got the news.
Do you regret not making up with her?
Every day I think about our last conversation and what I should have said or done differently. The problem with immortality is that you think you have all the time in the world.
Yeah, that's a problem, yes.
Sorry. Good things about Calliope?
It wasn't only fighting with Calliope, right? Surely there were good things too.
Is that how it sounds? No, she was marvelous. A force to be reckoned with if there ever was one. In the darkest days during the war, it was her songs that gave us hope. She kept Aphrodite alive through sheer determination, I think. Calliope cared. About us, about art, about people she'd only just met. It was her greatest strength as well as her greatest weakness.
I wonder why she picked me. I don't feel like I'm any of those things.
You underestimate yourself, Grace. I see a lot of her in you. She chose well.
I agree with Apollo on this one.
Mm-hmm. What about the other muses?
What happened to the other muses? You mentioned 2 others. Were they lost in the war?
Cleo perished centuries before. The victim of an obsessed writer she'd spurned. He kept her in a cage as his personal muse.
Ugh, that's pretty dark.
It was. By the time we found her, she was already... Well, it's enough to say her captor didn't survive her for long. Talia, however, was lost to us on the very last day of the war. We were about to leave on the ship, but she just never showed up.
Do you know what happened to her?
We never found out. I worried for years, even hired people to look, but As far as I can tell, she up and vanished into smoke that day. The war had ground her down. I was upset, but not surprised.
Yeah, I don't blame her either for disappearing. Maybe she's still somewhere. Just had enough.
Right. Do we need to know more about the idols, do you think, or is that all?
I mean, I don't remember what he tells you here, so.
Let's do it real quick.
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
You are. What would you like to know?
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
The short answer is, we don't know. If I think far enough back, I can remember bits and pieces. I remember my first Pythian games, the day the idols split in two over Troy, the day my first son died. But before that, nothing. None of us do. I vaguely recall the very first Apollo many thousands of years ago, but was he the original? Did he appear out of the ether? I couldn't tell you.
Also, a quick question. Do you know who Apollo's son is?
Oh, don't quiz me on Greek mythology. I don't off the top of my head, but the moment you say it, I'm gonna feel stupid, so...
I mean, I can tell you that he appears in the game. And technically, according to at least some versions of mythology, he is the son of Apollo and Calliope.
Yeah, alright. Obviously, they had a relationship at some point, which is interesting, because, like, at some point, those memories come back, right?
Yep. That's
Like,
gonna be interesting in a couple of years.
mm-hmm. That's all for now.
I mean, if you go with this, it could probably lead to him telling you that his first son is actually why he's right now banned from entering Hades.
Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, let's...
Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Interesting. The notion that there might be some other place far away where we're the norm is comforting. Sadly, our memories are filled with blanks. There was a war with beings we called the Titans. A terrible conflict where half our number died, yet do I remember a single battle. The last was after Rome fell. Zeus called us together to relay the news, told us to prepare for battle. And then, in the blink of an eye, I was in the 16th century. What made us forget 1,000 years? What happened during that time? We don't know. Athena calls that period the gap.
It makes me suspicious.
Mm-hmm. Let's tell me more about this gap.
Gap, you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...
I know I was alive. I passed on my eidolon who knows how many times, yet the moment I woke up, as you call it, all memory of that period was gone. It was Athena who found us. I was in France, I think. She came to my farm, and the moment I laid eyes on her, I just knew. It all came back. Did someone do that to us? Did we scatter to the winds for 1,000 years on purpose? It's a mystery.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena claims she awoke on her own and spent the next century locating the other idols.
Mm-hmm.
We've pieced together very little of the gap or of our origins. We simply live with it. Gods we may be, but I'm afraid we don't have all the answers.
Yeah, and I don't trust Athena with what she just said.
Mm-hmm. Let's ask about the sun.
Earlier you mentioned your son dying. Did I hear that right? Can idols have children?
It was rare, but yes. Back in ancient times, some of them even became idols themselves.
Some of the idols are actually family then.
Not anymore. Most of our children met terrible ends. A gift of the fates, perhaps. I don't know. The ones who weren't idols. It's hard. Watching your children grow old and die. Never understanding why they can't have the same immortality you do. Why you can't grant it to them. My first son is why I'm not permitted in Hades any longer. Let's simply say that most idols have stopped having children, and maybe leave it at that.
Do you know, maybe piece together who might be his son? I did tell you that person does appear in the game.
I know, but I've only played through it once, through to the end, and so I know who it is, but I don't know who it is.
There is only one person you meet in Hades.
I know, but I can't think of who it is, Ladybug.
Orpheus.
There you go. I'm dumb. Thank you.
Yeah, and according to at least some versions of the myths, Orpheus was actually the son of Apollo and Calliope.
That's a mood.
I mean, that explains why he was so freaking good at music.
It really would. All right, let's learn more about the war.
Tell me more about the war. It seems to have had a huge effect on all of you.
I don't think we would have left the old world otherwise. It was home.
From Aphrodite's song, I know Ares betrayed everyone. What did you do?
I caused it. I foresaw what was going to happen, so I tried to prevent it. I told Ares. I figured if the god of war couldn't stop what was to come, then...
And that's why he betrayed everyone.
He decided the idols were a lost cause. Because I told him we were.
For crying out loud, Apollo, you should know better than everyone!
Prophecies suck.
Yes!
Has your power ever helped anyone? Even once?
No.
On occasion. The fates are cruel, however, and they don't like being meddled with.
Fuck them.
My time afterwards was spent helping the survivors, keeping us on the move. If Hephaestus hadn't intervened, we would have all been captured.
And he's...
Oh, gone now, we assume, like so many others. We are nothing more than refugees from a war long over, Grace.
Was it hard?
I am guessing.
Was it hard for the idols to come to the new world? It's just a place like any other, isn't it?
I don't think it was the place so much as the condition we were in. Shell-shocked, one might say. Our entire world had been turned upside down. Suddenly, we had rules. Secrecy was paramount, and no one was permitted to leave the city. Some, like my sister Artemis, couldn't abide it.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Goddess of the hunt. And a wild thing herself. She left, I think. Faded away without a word. As many did in the early days here. Later, Athena became even more strict. For her own good, of course, but it hasn't been easy. This city has never felt like home, so much as a temporary shelter.
I am kind of happy that in this playthrough Apollo will not find out what happened to his sister.
He doesn't need to be more of a sad, wet kid.
Yeah, just that's not the greatest news. Oh, by the way, Medusa ate your sister.
Yeah.
Medusa. They went all through hell, and also Apollo I mean, it seems that sometimes Apollo doesn't get a choice, but he just gets a prophecy, and it's up to him to do anything about it. Because I don't think he was just looking at prophecies all of a sudden, because he knows better than that.
Right.
But then to go to Ares of all people. I mean, there definitely would have been a better choice to go with that to somebody, and also by now, mate, you should have realized trying to stop it will cause it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the brightest boy around.
None of them are. We've established this.
Yes, yes, yes. Being smart is not their thing. Maybe Hephaestus, but well, he's not around
That we know of.
that we know of.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around.
Of course. I look forward to it.
So we're going home because we are still avoiding Persephone. Not
Yep.
for long, because she will drop by our apartment soon anyway. So.
See, we didn't need to go to her. She'll come to us. It's
Yes.
fine.
Oh, hi,
Oh yes.
Grace.
We need to go
I
to
can
talk
just
to
call you
someone.
Grace, right?
That's my name. Where's Freddie?
She went out to get snacks. We were gonna watch TV while we waited, but well, here you are.
This is weird.
Will there be an idol here every time I come home? Just walking into my apartment uninvited?
Oh, I was invited. Freddie said I could stay. I haven't touched anything, I swear.
Aw,
Not really my point.
they are so cute.
Anyway, I guess Athena wants to talk. I can zip us over to Olympus anytime if you're free.
Do I have to?
Yep. Do I have a choice?
Do I have a choice about seeing Athena? I'm not in the habit of being at anyone's beck and call.
I mean, I guess you could say no, but I wouldn't. If Athena wants something, she's gonna get it eventually. She had that look in her eyes, like she really wants to talk to you.
She could always come here. Everyone else does.
Athena enter the mortal world? And now she doesn't do that ever. Can you imagine?
She never leaves Olympus.
How does Athena manage never entering the mortal world?
She doesn't have to, I guess. Everyone brings her everything she needs. And that creepy owl of hers? Apollo says it's her eyes out in the world. It's everywhere. Watching.
So what, she just never leaves the building?
She'll go to the reliquary and places like that. Just never where mortals are. She wears a toga and calls cars iron horses.
I swear
Yes.
even Hecate is one step above her in the knowledge of mortal world, because Hecate at least calls that automobiles,
Mm-hmm.
not iron fucking horses. So in the hierarchy of who knows less about mortal world, at the third place we have Apollo, at the second we have Hecate, and at the very fucking first is Athena.
The rest of them seem to have a pretty decent grasp on the mortal world. Not gonna.
Because the rest of them actually managed to live in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's ask: is this what you do?
And then there's Persephone with her own fucking company, and a club, and God knows what else.
So this is what you do? Ferry people around?
I'm the god of messengers, baby. Travelers, doorways, any kind of transition, really. The old Hermes said that the transition part made even more sense for me, which, you know, extra cool, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I can connect any two doorways anywhere, just like that. So it's super easy to take people wherever. I don't mind.
And yes, the transition part does make sense with them.
It does. Do you like running errands?
You say it's easy, but do you like doing all these errands?
Huh. Yeah, I never thought about it. It's nice to have a purpose. Athena is super sweet, and she has a big, important job. Why wouldn't I want to help her out?
You can't be this nice. Are you for real?
Oh, Well, the old Hermes used to say that a willingness to serve is more important than a willingness to be served.
There is something to that.
It is. You knew the old Hermes?
You mentioned the old Hermes a lot. You knew him?
Yeah, I was homeless for a while. It wasn't a great time, and he took me in. Everyone's on the same journey, he used to say. Only the roads are different. And then he went on his journey. Man, I still miss him every day.
Wait, isn't he still inside you? Aren't you kind of the same person now?
Not yet. It's only been a year. Maybe I'll feel him again one day. That'd be nice.
I absolutely adore them.
I do too. They're adorable.
Yeah. And in the context of being adorable, they are in the probably the same spot as Asterion, because they're both so damn adorable.
Yeah, they called Athena sweet though, so
Yeah,
maybe their
the-
judgment's a little askew.
Yeah, character judgment wise, they are not doing that great. I mean, they might be from those who just tend to see always the best in people, which is not that terrible thing to do, but that you better make sure that your ass is hard in that case, because you'll get kicked.
Yeah. I guess let's go talk to
I
Athena.
suppose there's no point in putting it off. Do your thing. Take me to Olympus.
Okay. Oh, when you see Freddie, tell her I'm sorry I couldn't stick around for the movie. And mind if I say something?
Sure.
You've changed. I mean, from the person I met when I first came here. When, you know, you got it together really quick.
Thanks, I guess.
I think we should actually kind of thank Pan a bit for that, because he gave us a hell of a tutorial.
You really did. We repaid the favor though, so.
Mm. Oh no, the tutorial he did for free. Which trait do we pick as a second one?
Oh.
Because we do have to pick a second one, so.
Let's go with charming.
There you are, Grace. Do have a seat.
I prefer to stand, thanks.
As you like. You've certainly been busy, haven't you? Everywhere I turn, there you are. Including the reliquary.
Oh.
I'm uncertain how you got access, but even you must have realized it's off limits. Particularly for your mortal friend.
You know what happened there.
But you know what happened there. That's where Calliope was attacked.
Yet it's not where she died, Grace. Is it?
So because she made it all the way to my apartment, we shouldn't care why she was bleeding to death along the way.
You think our judgment was rash?
Hell, it was.
It was. In truth, I worried that giving you time, letting us all get to know you, would make it harder in the end. I am sorry, Grace. You may not believe it, but I care deeply. I care about what happens to you and to all the idols.
Sure you do.
Oh, you don't care at all.
You care. About me? That's a laugh. You sit up here in your tower and whatever humanity you might have once had, whatever wisdom, it's eroded away to nothing. The only thing you care about is making sure it doesn't all shatter. Not on your watch.
I mean, that's not entirely wrong.
Harsh
Zeus
truth.
was the first to leave. King of the gods. And we don't even know what became of him. Vanished into the ether.
That's probably for the better.
Poseidon was next.
Also
Walked
for the
out
better.
into the seas, never to be heard from again. Ares betrayed us. Hephaestus saved us. Hades was murdered, and by one of our own.
Justified.
This goes
Yeah,
on.
that murder was totally justified.
So you add to it?
So you add to it. I show up and you kill me off because you can't be too careful.
We are dying, Grace.
Mhm.
I don't mean diminishing or drifting apart. I mean our immortality is disappearing. Very soon now, the idols will be no more. We are a legacy that spans millennia, dating back to the very dawn of humankind. So yes, I care. I will do anything and everything in my power to avoid that fate.
Oh, that I believe.
Even if it appears unfair.
I absolutely believe that. Also, funnily enough, I think I know why they might be dying.
Why? Why do you
Darling,
think?
remind me, where does usually in most polytheistic religions the power of the deities come from?
Belief in them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're not out in the world known to the people, there's nobody to believe in you.
Exactly.
And with that, your powers diminish and you start fucking dying. Like, bitch,
Right.
that is so easy to solve.
If she ever left her tower, she might know that, but
Yeah.
I do not want to apologize to her. She does not deserve my
I mean,
apology.
as much as being charming is fun, I know. No, we don't have
Yeah.
anything to apologize to her for.
Let's go with that's it.
That's it? That's what you have to say? Sorry, we're gonna kill you, but things are dire. Things are tough all over, Athena. Do you really think clamping down on your rules will make it better?
Those rules are our last line of defense against chaos, dear.
Some chaos is sometimes good.
I know we've put a great deal on your shoulders, Grace. I do. All I called you here to ask is that you please not make my job more difficult than it already is.
I wouldn't count
If
on
you
that.
have any other questions or concerns, now's the time to bring them up.
You really wouldn't count on me not making your job any less difficult.
Yeah. Who can access the reliquary?
Who has access to the reliquary? Is it anyone with a key, or
Doesn't matter, you gained access, so clearly it is not difficult to get. Speaking of which, I don't suppose you'll tell me who gave you that key.
And I love the Kika's answer
Yeah,
here.
you're
I
kidding,
absolutely
right?
love it.
Athena, I had that key all along.
You what?
It's just like you thought. I used it to attack Calliope that night. Then I brought her back home to finish her off. A mortal with a plan, baby. Stole my way into godhood. Watch me roar.
That's not funny, Grace.
What's funny is that you thought I'd tell you without getting anything in return.
I love that answer. It is the absolutely best answer ever.
Mm-hmm. You went to the reliquary, right?
Speaking of the reliquary, you went there, right? Once Hecate told you what happened?
Yeah, I was not impressed by the delay.
Oh, fuck off.
If you had known about that, the night Calliope died, would it have made a difference?
The chances are exceedingly small that you attacked her there, it's true. Yet, Calliope was weakened, which made her more vulnerable prey for an enterprising mortal. One she knew. Perhaps the incidents are connected, perhaps not. I cannot afford the risk of uncertainty, Grace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
It's a definitely different conversation when you already know how this all went on. When you already know who the killer is, this conversation is so much different, as is every other interaction with Athena, actually.
Let's discuss Medusa.
Also, I love that Felicia Day just did an absolutely amazing job with that role.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about Medusa.
Met her, have you?
I don't think we will tell her that Medusa tried to eat us, because that's...
Right.
No.
Why does she work for you?
I just have to know why. Of all the people you could have working for you, why her?
We could have left her behind. I elected to bring her because, in the end, she is my responsibility.
Glad you
But
noticed.
Medusa didn't want charity. She volunteered to work in my service. It's trying at times. Now, if there isn't anything else,
You made her that way.
Mm-hmm.
Glad that you notice it's your responsibility.
Tell me about Pan.
What do you know of Pan?
Pan? That's not a name I expected to hear. Been sniffing around you, has he?
I have some suspicions, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Pan lurks at the edges because he likes it there, seeking out whatever profit he thinks he can get away with. Avoid him, dear, or he'll stick to you like gum to the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah, a bit too late for that.
Mm-hmm. I'll go.
Yeah, because no, he's not a killer.
Yeah.
As Persephone put it, too messy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll get back to my investigation.
I am rooting for you, Grace.
No, you're not.
If there's another way to resolve this, any way at all, I will take it.
No, you won't.
Will you? Really?
Thank you, Grace.
Good luck. Feel free to take a cookie on your way out.
No thanks.
Nope.
Yeah, and Grace was of the same mind. She didn't take the cookie.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Athena has always struggled in a crisis.
Well, that's a nice way of putting it.
Yes.
Remember, she was a warrior. When pressed, she's always turned to that aspect, sought to maintain absolute control. It'd be hypocritical to say it's wrong of her. She's battled for me as much as for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Are the idols really dying?
Do you think she's telling the truth about the idols dying out?
Yes, though I find it odd she chose to tell you.
Maybe Athena thought, who'd believe Grace if she blabbed about it anyway?
Sadly, while I'd prefer to stay in her good graces, I doubt that will be possible.
Uh-oh. What now?
You may not like this, but you need to go back to the reliquary.
To do what?
But look, Apollo's considering breaking rules.
Mm-hmm.
What for? Is there something I need to ask Hecate?
Here's the thing. We don't know why Calliope went there, but it must have been important.
Duh.
Okay, I'll bite. How would I find that out? You think she left clues?
Kinda.
Remember how I told you it'd be years before you got Calliope's memories back? Well, it's true, but not entirely.
Okay.
Those memories are inside you. You go somewhere important to Calliope or touch something special to her, you will get flashes, feelings.
Do you want Grace to go to the reliquary so she can have deja vu?
Whatever
Yes.
happened to Calliope there, it ended her life. All we need to do is uncover those memories.
How do we get into the reliquary?
Last time Freddie and I were there, Hecate wouldn't let us into the reliquary. Not without Athena's permission.
Okay. Do you want to ask Athena for permission?
Fuck no.
It just seems like a radical step. For you.
Yep.
A week ago, I would have said that breaking into the reliquary couldn't be done. A week ago, I couldn't have imagined being here. My stance on a lot of things has changed. If you have another idea, however, I'm happy to go along with it.
I love that he's helping undo something that he kinda indirectly caused.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's
he
do-
does feel bad about it, so
Yeah. I just say let's do this. Like,
yeah, sure. Who gives a fuck?
Right then. Back to the reliquary it is.
Any idea how you want to do this, Grace? Because I'm game to help.
Cool. I'm sure we can figure something out.
I can't go into the reliquary with you. Not without tipping off Hecate. But I won't be far. If I get the slightest sense that something has gone wrong, I am coming in. Still, promise me you won't take risks.
Aww.
I'll do my best.
I'll try.
Ugh, can we just get on with this already?
Did you see we touched the abs? We touched the abs.
Yep. My favorite, personally, is Freddy distracting Hecate.
I am also a very large fan of that one.
So do we go with that?
Yeah. We haven't had a good Freddy distraction yet, so.
Oh, this one's amazing.
I fail to see what advice I could provide to you, Farishta Bandi. It's just Freddy. I'm unfamiliar with mortal affairs, Freddy. I do, however, have tea.
Then let's drink tea. And we can talk about books. You have a lot of them.
That would be acceptable.
I love her.
I love her too.
Do not worry. It is written that I am not alerted to Grace's presence for another 14 minutes.
Guess I'll keep talking then.
And that's why I love this interaction.
Okay, first part down. Now I finally get to see what the reliquary actually looks like.
There's a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
And very high ceilings.
Pretty impressive, innit? Don't wander around. Labyrinths are kind of my thing, but you'll get lost. Also, are you supposed to be here?
See, like, we could do the charm one, but then is it really a full red run?
I mean, seeing that we did have to choose a second trait anyway, and we don't have a red option in this one. And
Okay, because I don't want to lie or run for it.
Yeah, I don't feel like we would be good at running away from Asterion of all people in a labyrinth, nonetheless.
Mhm.
And also, I don't want to lie to him.
I don't want to lie to him. He's such a sweet bean. So yeah, I guess
Yes.
let's go with that.
I'm not, but I'm desperate. Can't you look the other way?
But Kate says to never, ever, ever.
I'm sure Hecate would understand you're helping only because you're the nicest Minotaur there is.
Also the only one.
I just need a little time. Please, I'm begging you.
Well, all right, but be quick and don't touch anything. If Kate finds out.
We never spoke. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, he's so nice.
They'll notice I didn't stay put and come after me. I don't think I have much time. First things first, how do I do this? Where do I even start? Calliope must have been here. She could have stood in this very spot. Maybe if I just focus.
I mean, I would see that with the very distinct lack of any ladders. Only Hecate takes the books from the top shelves.
Yeah.
Because, like, Asterion is nowhere near the height of a single shelf. Like, he reaches up to maybe the third one from the bottom. But then
It's a lot of
Hecate
books,
can
though.
reach all of
Yeah,
them.
it's weird. Like, I've definitely been here before.
And now we have to look at a bunch of things before we can look at the mirror. So what do we look at?
I want to look at the egg.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
I don't get any feeling from that. Will I know it when I see it?
No clue what that thing is.
The trident.
That I know what it is. And whose it is.
Is this an armory, too?
Kinda.
I mean, it's just a big fork. The scroll?
The scroll is interesting now that I notice what's on it. On the last run.
I don't even know what language that is.
You notice what that was?
I think so.
There is only one part of mythology with building mechanical wings. And that would be Daedalus. What else do we look at?
The mask?
What did Freddy say about mazes? Was it always go left? Or go left and then go right?
I mean, if you always go left, you will just make a circle.
Mm-hmm.
But now we can look at the mirror.
Now we can look at the mirror.
This is it. Calliope was here. She was standing right here. And she... Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh. That's a problem.
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean anything. I didn't even touch it, honest.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Okay, then.
Yeah, too bad that doesn't work.
Nope.
Not on them. Good thing they do not throw those knives.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening? Why didn't it work?
Good that they resort themselves to stabbing and slashing, not throwing. Because if they threw those, that would be fucking over.
Oh! Grace?
Freddy! We've got to run! My powers don't work on them, they just keep coming!
I mean, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm. And Freddy knows it.
Yeah, most likely.
No, I won't let you!
Because she knows enough about mythology to know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And to unfortunately know how to stop them. Which means she made this decision fully aware of what she was doing.
Oh god. Oh god, Freddy!
Oh no. Oh, Grace.
You summoned the Furies.
They summoned
What?
themselves.
Those beings were the Furies, beyond all our laws. Not idols, but the embodiment of retribution. How did you draw them here?
I didn't! There was a big mirror, but I didn't even touch it!
There was only one mirror of which you could be speaking. That used by the goddess Nyx to contact the Fates. Using the mirror would not have brought the Furies down upon you. Not unless the Fates themselves decreed it.
I mean, do they don't like to talk to people that much? Also, we know it wasn't fates, because
Yeah. You need to help Freddy. That's all I care about right now.
I don't care what brought them. They killed Freddy. You need to help her.
I have no power over life and death, Grace. None of us have that.
True.
This was no defense or spell of the reliquaries. I do not have the power to summon the Furies, and I know none who do. You should consider yourself fortunate, Grace. They do not desist until retribution has been exacted. But now is when you leave. Pray the knowledge you obtained was worth the price.
Help me, Apollo?
Not much he can do.
Apollo, there has to be something we can do.
Grace, I'm so sorry.
No, it's not right.
We have to leave. We have to leave now.
Yeah, that's another thing to the list of things Apollo is sorry for.
Mm-hmm.
That list is not fucking short. Oh, well, at least we don't have choices. Oh, we cannot go to Persephone anymore. That's because she's gonna come to us soon.
Grace, I'm sorry. I know what Freddy meant to you.
We can go charming.
We could.
Which kind of makes sense in the situation.
Yeah, let's go with the charming
It should have been us.
It should have been me, not her. This was my fight, my problem. I'm already slated to die if anyone paid the price.
And repeat history? Would you rather have died there, passing your eidolon onto Freddy instead?
Why the fuck not?
Freddy gave you a chance. Grace, is that what happened to Calliope? Was she attacked by the Furies as you were?
Yep.
Yeah. She meant to use the mirror, but she never had the chance before they came.
The Furies. Sent by the same person, I imagine.
Yep. And you know exactly who. But you won't tell us because prophecies suck.
What was Calliope trying to do?
I know Calliope was there to use the mirror, but it was just feeling. I still don't understand why.
Well, apparently she wanted to speak to the Fates.
Yeah, okay, but why?
The Fates are primordial beings, like the Furies. They're said to control destiny. Perhaps Calliope wished to know her destiny. Or change it. I'm not sure.
Oh wait, you're dancing around this like fucking crazy.
Are the Fates that powerful?
Can these Fates really control the future?
They're tied into fate, as I am. Perhaps they're even where my power stems from, or how Hecate's books are written.
So someone really didn't want Calliope messing with them.
Or you, apparently.
Could it have been the Fates? Maybe they don't like being called on now for anything.
I doubt it. If they didn't want to answer the mirror, I'm certain they simply wouldn't.
Who can command the Furies? Not that you'll tell us, but...
Who could send the Furies after me? Even Hecate had no idea who possessed that kind of power.
Even in our prime, none of the idols had the Furies at our beck and call. Perhaps Zeus, but he's long gone. I honestly didn't know the Furies still existed.
Clearly someone can do it.
I mean, unless they weren't sent. Unless they were responding to something else, something you'd done unwittingly. I'm sorry, I'm afraid your guess is as good as mine.
What are the Furies? Or
What are the Furies? They didn't seem like people.
They're not. Hecate called them embodiments of retribution, and I suppose that's the best description. They go back to, well, the time before my memory. I was once told they were created to enforce the most ancient laws.
They're ancient laws now?
Decrees one couldn't break, written in blood. Laws even idols abided by in the days of old Olympus. But those surely died with Zeus. Even if they hadn't, you can't have broken any. They're not easy to overlook.
why did they stop?
If the Furies are so powerful, why did they stop? They just stabbed Freddy and left.
They're not assassins, Grace. They're enforcers of the old laws. I imagine they decided the debt was paid, whatever it was, when blood was spilled. The blood didn't have to be yours.
So if Freddy hadn't interfered...
Then they would have come after you. And they wouldn't have stopped until they were through. Not ever.
I don't know what to do. We still have no idea why Calliope wanted to talk to the Fates.
Why not ask them? You too have caused quite the stir. Hecate is beside herself, and Athena is out of her mind. Well done.
How long have you been listening?
Long enough to know that you need another way to speak to the Fates, unless you're planning on trying the reliquary again.
No, not a chance. We'll find the truth on our own, Persephone.
If you sent Grace to wander about looking for Calliope's memories, you're already out of options.
She is right.
Mm-hmm. What
I
other
kinda
way?
wanna yell at them again.
All right, then. Let's yell at them again. Stop
Enough,
fighting.
both of you. This isn't helping anyone.
May I explain it to Grace, or do you have another option, Apollo? If so, now's the time. I thought not. The Fates will respond to the ruler of Hades, the true underworld and realm of the dead. What I propose is that we go there and take back the throne that was stripped from me.
We can just overthrow Hades.
Is that something we can do? Just go to the land of the dead and overthrow it?
Truth be told, there isn't much to overthrow. Few mortals still believe in Hades, and thus its halls have been nearly empty for eons.
So how do you...
The throne itself is the key, both symbolically and literally. Claim it, and Hades is yours.
But you can't claim it because you're barred from Hades.
By a rule that we would need to break were we to do this, yes.
Yay, more rule breaking.
We'd be breaking a rule?
Again?
So if we go to Hades and find your throne, how much trouble would that get us into exactly?
A great deal.
That would be like the fourth time
It's
this
not
week.
as if Athena could execute Grace a second time.
But she's
Exactly.
already been warned about breaking more rules.
The responsibility of this will be mine. Let Athena try to take my throne again.
I mean, that would be only the fourth time we broke a rule this week, and one of those we didn't even do, so...
There's no other way.
Is there really no other way to talk to these Fates? Do we have to take the nuclear option?
Do you want to try going back to the reliquary?
No, thank you.
No, hell no.
The only other person with a direct connection to the Fates is Apollo here.
You know it doesn't work like that.
Then it's the throne or nothing, isn't it?
Can you be less happy about it?
Yeah. So how do we find this
How do
throne?
we get to Hades? Do we need a key, like the reliquary?
Athena took my key, and the entrance at Lake Avernus was sealed long ago, which leaves only Hermes.
They won't take you.
They might, if you ask them to. So your promise to help Grace was an empty one? Step up, for once, and do what she needs you to do. Get us there. I'll lead us to the throne, and Grace can speak with the Fates. It's simple.
I'm in.
Duh.
No need to keep selling me on it. I'm in.
You are?
Yeah. I need to punch something really hard. Or overthrow hell. I'm good with either of those things.
Did you see that, Apollo? You see, that is what a backbone looks like.
I can't. I'm sorry. But this is a step too far.
And consider this, Apollo. Grace's mortal friend was slain by the Furies. According to the old laws.
Her soul is in Hades.
Duh. Do we go there?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Freddy's in Hades? What? Persephone, why didn't you lead with that?
I didn't want it to seem like I was playing on your sympathy, Grace.
Sure.
But you'll play on mine.
Yeah, duh.
Fine. I'll get you
Always.
Hades, but I'm not going with you.
If that's what you prefer, by all means.
It's
Obviously,
fine, Hermes.
she will
Get this over
play
with.
on your sympathies every time.
I'm glad that like going to Hades and doing this doesn't like upset
Shall I
Apollo
erase
enough that he
here,
doesn't like
or-
you anymore.
No. I'm not gonna lie to them. Hermes has always treated me fairly.
Mostly because when
Oh,
you come
hey,
back,
if
he
it isn't
doesn't
Apollo
have a
and
leg to
Grace
stand on.
and, Persephone. Wow, the whole gang, huh?
I'm afraid I have to call in that favor. I need you to take Grace and Persephone to Hades.
Oh, man, I don't know. Athena specifically said I wasn't supposed to take anyone, you know? No matter what.
Ah, this is pointless. They're never going to help us, Apollo.
Can I ask what's going on? Nobody ever tells me anything, and you want me to get in huge trouble, but for what?
I mean, the reason Apollo is not holding against us the whole trip to Hades thing is that because when we come back, he doesn't have a leg to stand on for that. Because we learn things in there.
Yeah, we have to go with the red one. I'd like
Yep.
to go with the green one, but
Yeah, but
we
red is
committed to
red.
red. We
Come
committed
on,
to red.
Hermes. How much trouble would you be in, really? What's Athena gonna do? Leave Olympus? Get her own dry cleaning? She needs you more than you need her.
True.
Yeah, but Athena works so hard, and it's always for everyone else.
Sounds like someone else I know. Isn't there anything that you want, Hermes?
Oh. What I want is the truth.
You won't like it. I
Tell
think
them.
we just tell them.
Here's the truth. The favor's for me. If I don't go to Hades now, I'll never find out who killed Calliope.
And then Grace will be executed.
Oh, shut up.
Okay.
Door is a door.
Signal when you need to come back.
You sure?
Yeah, feels like the right thing.
Be careful, Grace. And remember, the underworld doesn't give up its shades without a price.
I think I can tell her the rules, Apollo.
Yeah, like
Let's
you
go.
will. And I think since you need to go, this is a good point to finish for today and reconvene
Okay.
tomorrow.
Awesome.
We should manage to go through everything else within 2 hours because after Hades, there's only confronting everyone, the trial, and the epilogue. And I know that confronting everyone, the trial, and the epilogue takes about 40 minutes.
Okay.
So we should be fine.
Sweet. Okay. Sounds good. Well,
So this is it for today. And to anyone who's watching, we will be back tomorrow, but in very different, well, about 3 hours earlier than today. And also the VODs will be on Jesus Christ, YouTube. Words are hard.
alrighty. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.